Okay, so from today's class, we are going to start our first step to a data science journey. Although we have studied the basics of the Python, so today we will be starting our first step toward the journey of data science and machine learning, that is numeric Python. Okay, so before going through that, okay, we have studied list, right? For example, there is a list known as my list. Okay, a list is what? List is a data structure which can have a different variety of elements in the list. For example, it can be a number, it can be a string, okay, it can be a list again, example 1 comma 2 comma 3, okay, or it can be a tuple. Anything it can have, anything it can have. A wide variety of data structures list can hold. Very strong data structure in the Python. So I can run it, I can check my list is perfectly like this. Okay, now comes a different variant of the list, a different variant of the list which can hold only one type of data type, a different variant of the list which can hold one kind of data type only. For example, a list can hold a string, a integer, a floating point number, a list itself, a tuple itself. That data structure can hold only one kind of data only, and that is known as, if you are aware of that, arrays, right? That is known as array. Your list is very powerful, but there are certain advantages that array is having. First advantage is that whenever you need high computation, the fast computation, whenever you need fast computation, then your array is very good for you. And that's obvious. That's obvious because it is having only one kind of data. Okay, when you have to deal, take an example, when you have continuously you are dealing with only one type of things, you become accustomed to that, right? Same case as with the array, it can hold only one type of data, only one type of data. And mostly 99% it is used for working with the numeric data. Not the case that it will work with only numeric data, it can even work with the characters as well, means strings as well. But mostly arrays are very good in computation, numeric computation in comparison to list, but that comparison will be visible to you if you have a large sequence of data. Only then, if you are working 50, 100, 200, you won't be able to notice any difference. The notice will start coming into the picture once your data set becomes very large, like 10,000 rows or 10,000 elements are there in your array or list. Then you will start noticing that your array are doing very good. They occupy less memory, and when they occupy less memory, their performance is significantly faster in comparison to list. Okay, but don't, it is nothing like that you have a 50 or 100 data points, even 1,000 data points, and you are saying that, okay, I will use my arrays. Don't create a problem which doesn't exist. Okay, if you are running a program and it is giving you slow results, then you should move to the other solution. Okay, means list will 99% of the time you will be working with list only, 99% of the time. In case it performs slow, in case it performs slow, move to the arrays. Okay, and track, are arrays solving my problem? Understand, are arrays solving my problem? But understand, array can have only one type of data inside it. Whatever you will specify, only that kind of data it will be having. Okay, so why, when we will be using array? When we need fast computation on same type of data. If my list is performing that well, no issue, I need not go to the array. But if I'm having some problem, facing some problem, then it's my compulsion to go and try adopting array instead of list. Okay, so how to use array inside your Python? Two ways are there. First, import a module known as array, import array, right? This is one way. And second way is that you can type from array module, import array class, like this. Okay, from array, import array. There is a module known as array from which you are importing a class known as array. As simple as that. Okay, I run it. And remember, this is an interview question. This is an interview question. They may be asking you, list is more powerful in comparison to array in terms of storing different kind of data types inside one. then in which cases you will prefer using NumPy or not NumPy, specifically arrays? Why you will using arrays? So you should be ready to answer that. Okay, when we have a large sequence of data, in that case, and that too, we want to operate only one type of data, then we will go with arrays. Remember that. And how can we create arrays? Very, very simple thing is there, very simple. Suppose I have a list L and it is element 1, 2, 3. Okay, 1, 2, 3. So what I can do, I have imported the module array, right? So from that class array, I will create an array. How I will create? Suppose my array name is A equals to, use that same, use array, right? Put a bracket and here type your type code. Means which kind of data you are trying to put inside. Which kind of data you are trying to put inside. Remember, they are constrained, array are constrained, they will store only one kind of data. So you have to tell them which kind of data you want to store them. For example, I want to store integer, so I'll type I will type I, right? Put a bracket and here pass your list, example L. Okay, I pass that, let me run it. What happened? Okay, I didn't run the upper cell. Let me run the list and let me run it again. Okay, now if I want to check what is A, let me see, let me run this cell. You can say it is an array, which is indicating this way. If you want to see properly, print A, it's an array. And you want to check it, array is already mentioned over there. No problem with that. Fine. And what you can do, understand what you have to write here, what thing you have to write here. For that purpose, there are particular type codes. For example, in this case, I have integers only. So I use I. For different cases, different type codes are there. What are those? Let me go to the Google and show you how to use them. Go into the Google and type Python 3 type code. Okay. This is the array. Can you see that? It's a single digit type code which are available here, which you can use. If you want to use a strings or characters, this is the one. Unicode character, W character T, and the code is U. Okay. As we use integer, see, it is a signed integer. You can see that. It's a signed integer for a small I. If you want to use unsigned integer, use capital I. And different things are there. You can see mostly are numeric only. Mostly are numeric. So depending upon what you want, you can use. If you want floating point number, you can use type code F. So this is the thing I have done over here. Okay. So depending upon what kind of data you want to use, you have to specify there. For example, let me go here again back. Okay. And let me create one more array. This time B equals to, I type array. Okay. In the bracket again, I type the type code I. Okay. And let me try to insert a data which is floating point. That's 1, okay, comma 1.2, comma 1, it's 1, 3. Let me run this. Let me run this. Can you see what I said? String indexes must be integers because we have specified the type code. We have specified the type code here that data will be integer and you are passing a floating point number here. So you cannot do that. That's why these are constrained data types. Constrained. You cannot put whatever you want. First specify what type code it is. Once you specify that, no problem is there. Okay. Once suppose I've created a simple array here, A, which is this one. I created using a list. You can create using a tuple as well. You can create using a tuple as well. Let me show you that. Same thing. Let me delete this cell and let me create one more array. Copying it. Let me name it B. And see here, instead of L, I'm passing here a tuple 1, 2, 3. Let me run it. Successfully done. And you want to check B is an array or not? Yes, B is an array. and it is telling you that it is an integer. It is containing integer. Now, once the array is created, you can easily access it the way you access your list. Very, very easy. Very easy. Directly you can access. For example, my array is A, which is having elements 1, 2, and 3. If I use A, put your normal notation that we use while the indexing, whether we were using strings or we were using list, we put the square brackets. Let me put 0 here and let me run this. Can you see? I get my first element, very much like I do in the list. Let me put 1 here. I'll get 2. Okay. Even if I put -3 here, sorry, -1 here, -1 is the last element. Let me run this. I get 3. So everything that you do in the list, mostly everything you can do here, except few things which you can understand. It's a what comes of one type of data only. So everything is not possible. You can add data, you can append data, everything, append data, insert data, pop data, remove data. All those things are available inside array. You can check, type A and dot and press step. You will see lots of append is there, right? Count is there. Some numeric structures are all there. Index is there. Insert is there. Pop is there. Remove is there, right? Several things are there which are very much common to the your string, and few are different depending upon the whatever data type you are using. Is it fine, everyone? When you will use array? First question, when you will use array?
When we need fast computation.
Yes, and when a fast computation, when you were, for example, you are running a program and that program is having a large sequence. If it is having 50 numbers or 100 numbers, list and numpy, you will not be able to notice any difference. Sorry, list or arrays, you will not be able to notice any difference. You won't be able. It will be visible when you have a large sequence of data, like 10,000, 15,000, 20,000, then at that purpose. Okay, and you will see that a higher variant of array is a simple array. We use a module known as array. Okay, from the Python. It's good. It's a good computation. Now, a much better version of array is also available, which has more functionality, more even a little bit faster in comparison to the traditional array which is available. And that is which is having more functionality in comparison to your traditional array module that is available in the Python, and that is known as your numeric Python, numeric Python, or sometimes known as 99% times known as NumPy. Okay, NumPy array. Okay, so it has much more functionality in comparison to the array model. You saw that array module has how many functions? Just put it there, see, limited. Now I will show you, once you get into the numeric Python, NumPy, what even you can imagine in the math, almost everything, almost you want to find log, anti-log, exponential, sine of any value, anything you can imagine, almost everything is there. So especially for those people who are working in the research field, this is going to be a big milestone for you, numeric Python. Okay, so I'm starting with that, and there is a specific module for the numeric Python, specific module in the Python for the numeric Python, which is known as NumPy. So how do we import that? We have to import that module. And how can we import that? And by default, if you're using Anaconda, it is available there. Don't worry about that. It is directly available there. You have to just import it. How? Import NumPy. Okay. Directly you can use that. Or if you will use NumPy directly, you can make a alias as well. You can make a alias. Otherwise, you can directly use the word NumPy. But for the shorter version, means I will not type completely every time NumPy. I will use a smaller name. So you can create an alias. Alias can be anything, but 90% people use NP. 99%. A short notification, but it is not mandatory that you use NP. But 99.9% books, you will be having same statement, import NumPy as NP, but it is not mandatory. Alias can be anything you want to give the name of. But better we follow the traditionals which people used to follow. So we will be using NPs. Okay, so I'm running this. Okay, so I'm running this. I run this. Okay, successfully run. Now it is available to me. So suppose I want to create my first NumPy array. First NumPy array. And how can I create? There are different ways. Suppose I have a list I known as my list. And that has numbers 1, 2, 3, 2, 3. Okay. I run that. Okay. My list is available. From this list, I can create my NumPy. Okay. My NumPy array. How I will do that? Simple. Suppose I want to name my NumPy array as A, and I will type A equals to NP, which you have used here. If you don't use this as NP, then you can type here NumPy directly. But as if we create a shorter alias, I will type NP, right? NP dot array. NP dot array. In earlier words, you were typing just array, because now this array is a part of numeric Python word. So I'm typing NP dot array, and inside this, just pass your list. Just pass your list. That is my list. Okay. Pass your list, type it, and you can check it has converted into a NumPy array. Can you see that? Please tell me.
Sir, what is the difference between NumPy array and regular array?
I just told earlier, this NumPy array has more functionality in comparison to your normal array that we were using. Actually, they are different modules made by different people. Getting my point? This is also a module. That's why we are importing it. Array is also a module. We have imported. It is not inbuilt inside the Python. We have to import it from somewhere. Like whenever we were using list, did we ever import it list somewhere? We never imported, right? It was available there. That array also has been designed by someone, which we import. Okay, it has some functionality, but a new module has been created. A new module has been created, which much higher functionality in comparison to the previous array module, which is nothing but your NumPy module. Is it fine now?
Yes, sir.
Okay. It is much higher
Sir,
functionality. Yes, yes, please.
In normal array, we were putting data type.
Yeah, here actually what will happen, you will put, it will automatic, you don't need to put it here. You don't need to put here. That was a limitation also, you can say. Here we don't need to put it here, but you have to remember that it is an array. You have to keep that in mind. It is an array, so it will remember, it will keep same type of data type. Okay, for example, let me try one more thing. Let me create new list, C, and let's put number 1.2, 1, and 3.5 or 3.6. I create a list here, and again I did the same process, np.array, and pass my list. Now see what it has done. It has smartly, that's what I was saying, smartly it identified, okay, it is 1.2, it is 3.6. Smartly it has also converted that into the floating point number. Can you see that it is a floating point number? It's a floating point number. It has automatically converted 1 point, it is mentioned, right? 1 point. It has converted that into the floating point. Is it fine?
Yes,
that is much more. That's why I'm saying it is much more powerful than your traditional module. Right? So moving ahead, this is one way of creating our NumPy. We saw that just passing my list. Instead of list, you can pass your tuple as well. You can pass your tuple as well. And there are two variants of the NumPy. Not array, means two kind of data types rather, we can say that it supports in NumPy array. Okay, it normally supports two kind of we can say two flavors or two data types. We can say one is vectors and second one are matrices. Remember that one. It supports two flavors. One is known as vectors that are one dimensional, and second matrices which are two dimensional. I repeat once again. First is vector, which is one dimensional, and second is matrices, which are two dimensional. Right? For example, here we see we have only one dimensional data, so it is a vector. Only one dimensional data, it is a vector. But we can create a matrix as well. So matrix will have rows and column as well. So when we want to access any element of the matrix, then we have to tell which is the row number, which is the column number. Here that is not the case. We have to just tell one index. We have to just tell one index. For example, we have created this A here. Let me delete this, it is not required. Okay, so A is here. What I can do, I can directly put one dimension here only. For example, I just put 0, right? And I'm able to access one element. But when data is 2D, so I have to tell them X dimension as well and Y dimension as well. That is 2D data. And here the 2D data will be known as your matrices and 1D data will be known as your vectors. Is it fine? So what kind of flavors it supports? Two flavors it supports. One is known as your vectors, which is 1D data. I just saw we created a vector, and it also supports 2D data. That is known as matrices. Now, how we create 2D data? Let me show you how we create that. Okay, let me come to that. Suppose again I have a list, my list, but this time it is list of list. It is list of list. Example 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Then comma 4, 5, 6. Okay. One more list. 7, 8, 9. Okay. This is my list of list. Perfect. This is my list of the list. You want to check it, you can check it. This list of list, you want to check as data type, check, no issue. My list. Fine. Now I want to convert it into the matrix, that is 2D. The same process I have to follow. Suppose I said 2D, the name I'm giving 2D. 2D equals to np.array, np.array, and just pass my list. Okay, just pass my list, run it, and check 2D. What is 2D? Fine. It has become a matrix now. Can you see the shape? Please tell me, can you see this?
Yes,
Okay.
sir.
And how will you
Yes.
come to know it is 1D or 2D or something like that? One way to see is that you will always see here two brackets. You will always see here two brackets at the beginning or at the end. If you are seeing two brackets, immediately understand it is a 2D data. And if you are seeing only one bracket like this, understand it is a 1D data. For example, I want to check its shape. Okay, A I have created. So how can I check the shape of this? I have typed A dot shape. It's an attribute. Let me run this. It will show only one thing. Only one thing. Okay. And when I check here, 2D dot shape, you will immediately recognize. Okay, so this is very important, and especially in case of machine learning, you will be using this shape function. You will be using the shape function a lot to identify what is shape of my data, because you will be giving CSV files or SQL files or something like that. So it will be required that you check. Please, somebody is unmuted. Please mute yourself. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, so we can check that with the help of shape. Simple is attribute shape. I just put there. So we can see two entries are here, and when the 1D data is here, only one entries are there. Okay, so further I'm moving. So I know there are two variants we can mill that, and that are nothing but your vectors and matrices. When we are dealing with the 1D data, it will be vectors, and when we are dealing with the 2D data, it will be your matrices. Moving ahead, we just created our vector and the matrices with the help of list. Same way we can adopt with the help of our tuples as well. Okay. Now moving ahead, beside using list and tuples, beside using only list and tuples, you can create your own by using built-in methods. By using built-in methods, you can construct your NumPy arrays. Sorry, let me put a comment here. NumPy arrays. How? Remember the function, there's a function range in Python. Do you remember? It generates
Yes,
a
sir.
number, within a given
Yes.
range, right? In NumPy array, there is a function known as arange. In NumPy array, there is a function known as arange, and it returns evenly spaced values within the given interval. Evenly, repeat what I'm saying, evenly spaced values within a given interval. Now see, what I want to generate a vector. I want to generate a vector having numbers 0 to 9. Having numbers 0 to 9. So what I will do, let me show you something. Okay, what I can do, I type np dot a range. A range. And before using any function, I always advise go inside it and check the arguments. Check the arguments. What it is saying. Can anybody read from this? Just these 3 lines, which is mandatory and which is not mandatory?
Stop is mandatory.
Yes, very good. Now you people got an idea, right? Because whenever we will see the square bracket, understand it is optional. It is optional. It is not at the stop. It is not at the stop. So start is optional. Even step is optional. Okay. So if I want to generate numbers from 0 to 10, I can directly type 10 here. So what it will generate numbers from 0 to 9, very much like a normal range function. So let me run it. You can see it has generated an array of the numbers 0 to 9. It generates the numbers 0 to 9 very easily without any problem. But if you want to generate some specific numbers, suppose you want to generate numbers from 11 to 20, then what you have to do? You have to mention 11 colon 21. Okay, so it will generate number from 11 to 20. We ran it. What happened? Sorry, 11 comma 21. 11 comma 21. Is it fine? And even if you want to skip something, if suppose you want to score only even numbers, that's an option. Even numbers, right? Or odd numbers, it's entirely your choice. For example, I need 11, then I need 13, then I need 15, then you need a step size. You need step size, right? Skip one after another. Skip one after another. Just pass 2. Is it okay, everyone? I think it's very much similar to your range function only. I hope you get an idea properly. Is it fine?
Yes, sir.
Perfect. Now moving ahead, especially for those people who are going to work in image processing in the future, or not in image processing, or specifically some data they will be collecting through the census, and they will like to create some function for that. They need to create some matrices. They need to create some matrices, and for them, there are some special functions. I'll show you that. For example, there's a function known as zeros function. There's a function known as zeros. Okay. Let me read this definition. Just have to give the shape. That's it. And what is saying? Return a new array of given shape and type filled with zeros. Okay. So whatever size you will give, for example, I give a size of 3. I give a size of 3. So it will give me, I'm giving a one number only here. So it will give me a 1D vector. It will give me a 1D vector having 3 zeros. It will give me a 1D vector having 3 zeros. See, can you see that? Suppose I need 2D vectors. I need 2D vectors. Again, not 2D vector, rather than say I need 2D information or matrix. Then suppose I need a 3x3 matrix or 5x5 matrix, whatever I want. So what I will do, I will specify here, example 3, 3. In tuple form, or you can put in a list form, doesn't matter. Let me see that. Can you see that? And it is going to be very important, specifically not what we will cover for that purpose. It may not be required, but specifically for the research purpose, if somebody is going, these things are very important. They will be requiring it. They will be requiring it for sure. Okay. Similarly, like zeros, there is ones, np.ones, very much like same definition. Just that now it will fill the data with 1. So I'm putting 3. I'll get a 1D vector having 1. Right? Again, I need 2D information or a matrix, np.ones. I'll pass it, for example, 3x3 or 5x5, whatever you want to put, entirely your choice. np.ones. Let me run this. Get 1.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes, please.
Sir, why are this data in float form?
Is by default it is taking. By default it is taking. You can change it. There's an option if you see that. Right? You can specify. You have not specified D type. Can you see that?
Okay.
You have not specified. That's why by default it is taking. But you have an option of changing it. As mentioned, D type equals to none. You have not mentioned it, so it is by default taking as that. But we always have the power of taking that. We can change it as per our requirement. Now moving ahead. Let's move ahead. There is one more function. There is one more function like I. You know, identity matrix. Do people remember? Identity matrix, if you have studied, in which we have only one at the center. Sorry, at the diagonal portion. And, yes, and the rest of the portions are zero. Right? Even you can create the identity matrix. Now you may come across how important that will be for mathematical purpose. You want to find inverse of a matrix or something like that. Now these things are going to be very much important for you. Okay. So for example, I'm typing NP and dot I. Okay. And here just specify the dimension of matrix you want. Identity matrix dimension. For example, I need 3 cross 3. Just pass 3 here and see. You will get an identity matrix. Right? You want to type 4. It will give identity matrix of 4 plus 4. Is it fine, everyone? Is it okay?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Similarly, there is one more function known as linspace function. Linspace. What it does, it returns evenly spaced numbers. Evenly spaced numbers over a specified interval. Over a specified interval. For example, I type np dot linspace. Np dot linspace. And I said that I need numbers between 0 and 10. You can specify any numbers, what you want. I need numbers between 0 and 10, and I need 3 numbers. So what it is saying that, give me 3 numbers which are evenly spaced between 0 and 10. Okay, give me 3 numbers between 0 and 10 which are evenly spaced. Okay, so that I'm doing, running it, and you will see that I got 3 numbers, 0, 5, and 10. I got 3 numbers, 0, 5, and 10. And even if you want to specify example, I need 50 numbers between 0 and 10. Evenly spaced numbers. I'll type 50. Automatically, it will give me numbers between 0 to 10, 50 numbers between 0 to 10. I repeat, 50 numbers 0 to 10. Okay. Check it. And can anybody tell me it is a 1D vector or it is a matrix? Please see properly and then tell me.
1D vector, sir.
Vector,
Very,
sir.
yes, very good. Very good. You get an idea. Just look at this thing and you will get an information. Okay. Immediately you'll get an information. Now, also there is an option of in NumPy, especially for generating random numbers. Lots of way of creating random numbers. There are lots and lots of options. Okay. For example, I want to generate suppose some random numbers. I want to generate some random numbers from uniform distribution. You have an idea of uniform distribution? Anybody? Idea of uniform distribution? Normal distribution or uniform distribution? Anyone remembers?
No, sir.
No, let me tell you. Suppose this is my data points value, any value it is, okay? And here I'm mentioning probability. Here I'm mentioning whenever we'll talk about distribution, there will be something about probability. Okay. For example, what I'm saying that between the points A and between the points B, any point between A and B have equal probability of occurring. Have equal probability of occurring. Means any point between A and B have same probability of occurring. Means anything may occur. For example, if we take a dice, right? So if I ask you, what is the probability of one occurring? One. I'm throwing a dice. What is the probability that one will occur? You will say, what you will say?
1/6.
Very good. But the probability of two occurring?
1/6.
Yes. Probability of three?
1 by 6.
1 by 6.
Again, means every number has equal probability or not in that distribution. So we can say that our dice supports uniform distribution. Everything has an equal probability. I hope you get an idea. What is uniform distribution? Is it
Yes,
fine,
sir.
everyone? Right?
Yes,
You
sir.
must you must have seen these diagrams, especially EC students. You must have seen this diagram. It's quite famous. It's quite famous. If you have studied signals and system, you must have seen this kind of thing, especially in communication. You must have seen this kind of structure, right? So this is your uniform distribution. And second kind of distribution, which is very popular, is your normal distribution. It's a normal distribution, means which has bell-shaped curve, if you remember. Something like this. Where what is happening is that at the center of the curve, you have the highest probability of occurring. At the center of the curve, you have highest probability of occurring. And you move away from the center, your probability of occurrence decreases. Your probability of occurrence decreases. You may say, sir, give me an example. For example, when a baby borns, okay, when a baby borns, then what we say, if a baby is born, his weight should be somehow 2.5, above at least 2.5 kg to 3 kg. If it is like that, 2.5 to 3 kg or 3.2 kg, we say that he's fine. Anything less than that, anything more than that, right, is considered as not safe. Okay, so normally what is happening, we say that it's a normal distribution. It's a normal distribution that certain means at the center of the curve, we will have the maximum probability, right? So for example, this is, I'm saying the weight here, I'm having the weight. This is the weight scale. This is the probability of the scale. Okay, and here I'm mentioning that maximum of the people will be having around 2.7 kg of weight while a baby is born, around 2.7 kg. It has the highest probability. It has the highest probability of occurrence that people will be having 2.7 kg of weight. Other than that, less chances, whether smaller or more. Are you getting an idea what is normal distribution is all about? Please tell me.
Yes, sir.
Hope you understand that, right? So depending upon the scenario, actually, we decide which distribution is there. Depending on the scenario, we decide which kind of distribution is there. You can understand, and by the study and practice, we come to know which kind of distribution it is following. I hope you will never forget what is your normal distribution is, and you will never ever forget what is your uniform distribution is. Is it fine, everyone?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Perfect. Perfect. Okay. So what I'm planning to do, I need some numbers. Okay. What I need some numbers from uniform distribution. Okay. Between the range 0 to 1. Distribution, uniform distribution between 0 to 1. Then what I can do, I will type np dot random. Random numbers means I cannot guess. Randomly numbers will be generated. Then again dot rand. And just mention how many numbers you want. How many numbers you want. Suppose I said 2. Suppose I said 2. So it will generate numbers from which? From uniform distribution. From the uniform distribution between 0 and 1. Let me run that. It is giving me 2 numbers from uniform distribution. That is from 0 to 1. Find any two numbers which follows uniform distributions. Okay. Any 2 numbers which follows the uniform distribution. Fine. This is 1D data. Suppose you want to generate 2D data. No issue. Use it and just pass 2 arguments here. Suppose 2 cross 2. You can put 3 cross 3, whatever you want. No issue with that. And see, we'll get a 2D data. Okay. How many points I'm getting? I'm getting points 3 cross 3. That is 9 points. So you can see that I have 9 points.
Hello, sir.
Yes, please.
Sir, are these numbers from the above array or it takes it randomly?
It's random. That's why it is random.
Okay,
Random.
sir.
It's a random. See, the module name is itself random.
Yes,
We
sir.
cannot guess it. It's not from us. This is not from this. It's entirely random. Next time I'm going to run, no guarantee same number will be visible. Let's see. Let's see. Right? Let me run this and you can see that. Let me see. See, the first number has changed itself. Can you see that? Entirely
Yes, sir.
different, entirely different kind of numbers are there. Here the numbers are different. They are random.
Okay, okay, sir.
They
Thank
are
you.
entirely random. That's why the module is random. Okay. Now similarly, we are taking data from a uniform distribution. We can take data from standard normal distribution. That was normal distribution, just I told. But if mean is 0, means if your peak of the bell-shaped curve is centered around 0, and a standard deviation of 1, we call it a standard normal distribution. Okay, when the peak of the bell-shaped curve is centered around 0, okay, and has a standard deviation of 1, we call it a standard normal distribution. Suppose I want to generate numbers from them. Okay, I want to generate numbers from them. So what I can do now, np.random, that will be same in starting two letter are same. Now rand will be also there. Just put n. If you put rand, it will take from uniform distribution. If I put rand n, it will take from standard normal distribution. Okay, from the standard normal distribution. So I'm putting here, suppose I need 2 points. So I'm writing here and let's see, I got 2 points. And this time it can be negative, positive, doesn't matter. Right? Because standard normal distribution, the peak is centered around 0. Peak is centered around 0. So you may go left-hand side, means negative side, or you may go right-hand side, that is positive side. So you may get any numbers, right? Similarly, I need 2D data. I can put 3 cross 3, 3, 3. So I got numbers from that. I hope it is okay with everyone. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Similarly, suppose I want to generate some integers, random integers. Okay, random integers, any random integers. For example, if I'm using a range, so we are defining which integers we want. Okay, suppose I want some random integers within a range, any random numbers within a range. So what I will type, np dot random dot rand again will come, but this time it will become int. Remember this, np.random always there, dot rand is always there, just nothing is there, uniform distribution, n is there, normal distribution, int is there, integer distribution, like this. Remember this way, right? And type the numbers. For example, I need numbers from 1 to 100. So 100 won't be there. Of course, 100 won't be there for sure. 100 won't be there. Okay, 100. So what I am typing, this way, what will happen? It will give me any one random number between 1 to 99, 1 inclusive and 100 exclusive. It will give me one random number between 1 to 99. Let me run it. Any number it can be, like 56. Any random number. Next time I run it, I will get a different number. I may get a different because it's random. I don't know. Same I am running. Every time I'm getting a different number. Is it fine? But suppose you want a specific numbers, then it's fine, perfectly fine. You can put it as well, copying it. Suppose I need 10 numbers, just pass 10 here. So it will give me 10 random integers between 1 to 99. So I get 10 random integers between 1 and 99. Is it fine? Everyone?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Perfect. So let's move ahead to some attributes and methods of the array. Array attributes, let me put comment. Array attributes and methods, right? Let's come to that. Suppose I create an array known as ARR, okay? And I pass the function np.arange, and you can tell me what it will give me, right? I'm passing 25. What it will give me?
0 to 24.
Yes, a vector of 0 to 24, right? A vector from 0 to 24. I create one more array. The name is suppose ren ARR equals to np dot random dot random, and numbers are, we want from number 0 to 49, so I put 0 to 50, and suppose I need 10 numbers. Okay, so I'm running these two, and we can check one by one. What is ARR? ARR is simply numbers from 0 to 24. And again, what is RAN ARR? We can check that. Oh, fine, perfectly fine. Generated. Now see, I just saw what is the shape of ARR. Let me do that. ARR dot shape. Okay, it is having 25 elements. That's it. 1D. In certain scenarios, when you will be working on a large scale machine learning data, especially in deep learning or somewhere, then it may be possible that any particular predefined function may need 2D data only. It won't accept 1D data. It will be happening. It will accept only 2D data, and sometime it will happen you are passing 2D data, but it needs only 1D data. So there is a capability in numeric Python, that is NumPy. We can reshape our data. We can convert 1D to 2D so that it becomes easier to pass on to that particular function. For that, we have a specific function known as reshape. See what we'll do. This 25 will be converted. You will see that this 25, we can convert it, example, into a matrix. So if you want to convert 25 elements into the matrix, how can we do that? We can do that by using a 5x5 matrix, right or wrong? So what I will do, I will use it. I will type ARR dot reshape. I want to reshape that ARR, and in which form I want. A form need 5 rows and 5 columns. I need 5 rows and 5 columns. I want to distribute it that way. Let me run it. Can you see that? The entire data that is from 0 to 24 has been converted into the 2D structure. Okay, now it's your duty when you pass. You have to configure stuff that when you are using a programming, you have to access it properly. Remember, at this level, when we were accessing 5, it was available at 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5th index. Perfectly fine. Just passing by ARR/5, I could have accessed that. But now it cannot be accessed that way. It cannot be accessed that way. If you want to access it, it has to be accessed different way. You have to tell the row number and you have to tell the column number. That's the change you have to adopt. Same 5 is here. So which row it is coming? It is coming to the second row. So row number start from 0 and 1. Okay, let me show you an example. Of both of the things. Okay, let me check ARR first of all again. ARR should not be changed because we have not saved any value. Okay, ARR is there. Suppose I want to access its 5th element. I can access this way. Perfectly fine. Okay, I can access 5th. Now suppose same 5 I want to access it. I can access it. I'm an engineer. I cannot say it has been changed. Now I cannot access. I should know all the ways to deal with that. Okay, so let me save it somewhere. Suppose xi shift. Okay, and what is x? Let me check it. So see, this is your first row. This is your second row, but the numbers start from 0. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So where 5 is? 5 is at the first row. So I'll type x1. Example. Other ways of indexing are there. I'll come to that. Don't worry about that. And where is the column? Column again as at the first column. This is first, second, third, fourth, fifth. But numbering starts from 0. So it's a 0 column only. So we need an intersection of these. Means first row. If I just type this, see what is happening. Can you see that? I just type 1, then I access complete first row. Let me remove and show you. Remember the numbers 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. See, where are the 5, 6, 7, 8, 9? Right or wrong? First row? Right or wrong? Right? So suppose I want to access that 5. So first of all, I have to reach that row. So how I reach that row? I reach there by passing 1. Now, within that first row, I want to access first element, this element, and this element is at the index 0, 1, right or wrong? Right? From here it is at 0, 1, and the column wise it is at 0th index. So first row I have got it. This thing I've got it, and in this one, if I run x1, it is available, and within this one, at which index it is? Tell me. Which index it is? 0. So just pass 0 here. That's it. You'll get the 5. Okay. So you can access means all the data has been reshaped, but you should know how to access that. And that is very easy. That's it. I hope you get an idea. You can access any element you want, right? You can access that or not. Now you will tell me. I'm ruling that, and you will tell me the index. How will I access that? Suppose I want to access these 4 elements. I need these 4 elements. How will I access these 4? 3, 4, 8, and 9. Can anybody tell me how will I access them? You will not be able to do no, because I have told you only access one way. Don't worry, you will be able to do that. Let me show you one. I'm coming here and typing 0, 1, 0, 1. Okay, let me run that. What I'm getting, let's see. Next is there. Okay. Can you try your piece? How can I get this? 3, 4, 8, and 9. Can you give a try? 3, 4, 8, and 9. I just need this sub portion of this. Just this sub portion. Or before that, do one thing. Just tell me how will I get 18? I'll come to that later on. Just tell me how will I get 18? You can take 2 minutes and tell me, please. How will I get 18? I need the 18 one.
X of 3, 3.
Everyone, please.
X 3 3.
3 3.
X
3,
X 3 3.
3. Let me type it. 3 3. It was 18, I guess. That's what you are searching, right? Fine. Let me do one more thing. Let me ask you. Now access this number 11.
Two one. X21.
X21. Others, please.
X21, sir.
X21.
X21. Great. Hope it is okay with everyone. Any issue in that? Okay. Now see. Everyone is able to access individual element. I don't think so there is any problem. Suppose in the bracket, what I do, let's see, understand what I'm going to do. Same thing that you are doing here. You told me which number? We were accessing 11, na? So you told me 2 and which number you were accessing? Which I asked you to do? Which one?
11.
11.
So what would you tell me? What you tell me?
X2 1.
2, 1.
2, 1. Okay. Let me run it. Now same thing can also be done a different way. See how? X, comma. What is the first element? 2. What is the second element? 1. And let's see. Right? Remember the second notation. This is also one of the way of accessing your elements. Instead of separating them one by one, but I prefer this one. If you ask me personally, I like this one because this way I can break the parts. I like this one. But you can use anyone. I like this one, 71 cell. This is my preference. I personally like it. It is not mandatory that you use it. Even you can use this way as well. Now suppose I type something X bracket and see properly what is going to happen. Okay. I mentioned colon 2. You will understand. You have understand how to access the elements, right? Colon 2. And after that, I press 1 colon. Okay, colon 2, then comma, 1 colon. Let's see what is I'm going to get. Let me see what is X and understand what is happening behind the out. Let me run the X and check which elements did you get. Please see it properly. And you will be able to easily get it. Tell me what is happening here. Remember, first the entry before the comma is what? First entry before the comma is what? Your rows, right? Your rows. So when I'm writing colon 2 means, remember how do we do indexing of strings in the list? If we don't mention anything before colon, it means start from the beginning. Start from the beginning and exclude that. It will take the rows from 0 and 1. Right or wrong? Please tell me. We have studied that several times in the strings, in the list as well. Please tell me, is it fine or not? Please tell me.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Right? Even you can break it. Don't worry. Even you can break it. Let me remove this. Let me do only one and you will understand that way. Colon 2. So I'm putting only one argument. That means we are talking about the row right now. We're talking about the row right now. So I should be selecting 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 because I need 0th row and 1st row. Let me run it. Can you see that? Happened. Did it run or not? Yeah. Check it, please. I get complete row 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Right? Is it fine, everyone?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
After that, I
Yes,
want to access column. I want to access column. Okay. Then I put, suppose, understand what I'm writing. I'm writing 1 colon. Can anybody tell me what it will give me? And remember, first bracket, if you don't put a comma inside, first bracket tells me about the row and second bracket tells me about the column. Right? So what this will give me, I haven't put anything after the colon. What it will give me?
1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9.
It means I'm just asking this one. Just ask for what it will give me. Only this portion. What it will give me.
except first colon, rest of the
Yes.
elements.
Every colon means first it will leave 0th one, then it will give 1 to all the last, 1 till all the last. So this column will be covered, this column will be covered, this column will be covered, this column will be covered. Now make the intersection of these two. Make the intersection of these two. So this is saying select these two rows, right? Let me use the pen. You'll understand that way. This element is saying that select these two rows only. And this element is saying that select all the columns from 1 to this. All right. So what is the intersection portion? Only this. Agree or not? Right. This is the only portion. You will be agreeing with that. Tell me 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, which is common. Means intersection. So if I run this, let me remove this. Let me, where's the pen? Clear all. Okay. So if I run this, what I will get? 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9. Let me run this. Sorry, what I am running. Let me run. What happened where I'm running here? It's a mistake or something. Let me run X again. What is X? X is perfect. Let me come here and run it. What is happening? Why I'm not getting this? Is some mistake we are making? What is happening? And let me try this way. This is perfectly fine. It should work. Using this way, it should work. But it's not giving me x21 is 11. Perfect. X21 is perfect. Let me remove this and bring it inside the bracket, comma, 1 colon. It's giving perfectly 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9. This way it is working perfectly without any issue. Same thing we are passing inside. Then why it is not taking that way? Let me do try once more. X colon 2 and then 1 colon. Again, it is 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Are we doing some mistake somewhere? Colon 2 is fine. Why it is giving me 5, 6, 7, 8, 9? 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 2 rows, first to all. Never know why it is happening. There may be some issue. X2 colon 1. Try one more way. And X this way. No, only this way. It should have take, but this is way it is accepting very easily. 0 colon 2 and this thing. Perfectly fine, it is working. Why it is not accepting that way? Let me try something else. Try to put remove this. Let me run this. Okay. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And when I'm removing it, I'm putting anything here. Let me put all the columns from beginning till 1. Okay, that means 0th only. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. This way it is doing perfect. If you are using this, it is giving perfectly 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, 9. Even I am trying to put something like 1 colon 2. Again, it is giving only 1. How it is behaving this way? For this case, it is working perfectly. 1, we remove the colon here and perfectly it is working without any issue. This is the thing which is expected. 0 colon 2 and it is giving me everything. And when you are using colon, this is the 2D data and we are not able to do that. Why? Then if we try that way, colon inside do that, then we should be able to access it. How 2, 4, 6, 8. Oh, got it. This is 1, 1, 1, 1, and we are putting colon notification. If I remove that, I'll get this. If I put anything doesn't matter. 1 colon, 1 and colon. If I remove this, it is giving me 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If I am doing colon, it is giving me same. If I am putting 1, 0, 1, it is giving me 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. How it is behaving that way? Should give me 1, 2, 1 means 6, 7, 8, 9. 0th index, let me put 0 here. Got it. Actually, what is happening? Got to see properly what is happening actually here. Once we are putting colon here, no? So what is happening? See, understand properly. Once we are putting a colon here, then it is creating a sum matrix. It is creating immediately. It created a sum matrix. Okay, like this. It immediately created a, even as the first step, it created a sum matrix. Now, this sum matrix has 2 rows. This sum matrix has a 2 rows. So while I will put 0 here, it will access its first row. It will access its first row. And if I put 1 here, it will access its second row. See, I am typing 0 here. Gave me first row. I am typing 1 here. It gave me second row. If I put a colon here, I need all the rows. Okay. Now, if I want to move further, okay, see, this is the way the links are working. See what was happening. You got in point. The moment we run the colon this way, the moment we run the colon this way, what is happening here is immediately turned into a 2D data. This is complete 2D data. One like this, like very much like this. Your X. X is having many elements, doesn't matter. 5 cross 5. This is your 2 cross 5 element. That's it. You want to check it, you can check it. See, X bracket colon 2 dot shape. Okay. So it is itself a matrix of 2 cross 5. Now you want to access it. So you have to provide row number and column number, right or wrong? Tell me, please. It's a matrix itself. So you have to provide row and column itself. You have to provide row and column itself. If you are accessing this way, it is an entire matrix. And we are accessing that way, then what was happening? It was giving individual element to us. It was giving individual element to us, right? So it was not matrix. We were able to access that by using this notation, 2 and 1, easily. But when we are accessing using colon, what we are doing actually? What we are doing? We are converting that into a 2D data. Even if I put 1 here, see what is going to happen. Can you see? It has 1 row, but it is showing us it's a 1D data or 2D data. Please tell me. It has 1 row only, but it is a 1D data, 2D data.
2D data.
2D data.
Right? So it is 2D data. We have to access it, both the things, rows and columns. Am I right or wrong? And this is, you will
Yes.
come with practice. See what is happening. What we thought, okay, V3 is accessible, we will be able to access that. But we didn't saw that. We didn't saw that it is not a 1D data anymore. It's a 2D data. So this is a matrix which is available to us. We put a 2 here, na? So it's a matrix which is we are getting here, a 2D matrix. So to access the matrix, what we have to provide? We have to provide row and we have to provide column. Agree or not? Tell me.
Yes, sir.
Right? So if we provide 0 here, then what we are providing? We're providing that out of this 2D matrix, provide me first row. If I put it there, I get 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. If I put 1 here, I get 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Now, remember, same way, move ahead. We have got the row. So if I'm putting colon here, then what I will get? I will get both the rows. Right? Because I'm accessing all the rows. 0 to 2 is a matrix. I said, please put colon. I accessing all the row. Now suppose, now C come here. Now come from here. And I'm putting here, suppose a colon again. And see what will happen. I'm saying, please give me all the columns. Doesn't matter. Perfectly fine. Now, if I put 0 here, see what I'm getting. Are you getting my point? This is the matrix it has become. It has become matrix. So the things have changed now. It has become a matrix now. The things have changed now. So you have to think properly how to deal with that. That's why things has been designed, I think. It becomes very easy to access these things here. Here it becomes very easy to access. Very, very easy thing to access. You can easily access this by simply putting there. By simply putting there, you can easily access that. Without any trouble, you can access that. Just put it inside that and you will be able to do that. Okay, very easily you can do that. Now try. Use the colon. This is the X. We put X colon 2, 1 colon all the columns. This is our matrix. Okay. Suppose I want this 3, 4, 8, and 9. This indexing becomes very easy for us. So we get 0, we need 0th row and first row. Fine, 0 and 2. Suppose I need these only. Then what should be the column number? 0, 1, 2, and 3. So we have to put it here. 3. Right? Let's see. Can you check it, please? How easy it is to access this. Okay, this way things becomes easy because we don't have to see it as a 1D data or 2D data. That is the main issue. Here it is a scalar data. We are getting a 1 value only. Here we are getting a 1 value only. But when we put this way, what is happening? We are getting now it's a 1D array. This is the thing is changing. So it becomes complex. That's why this thing has been designed. Put inside it, it will become very easy for you. I hope, please tell me any doubt. If you are having, please let me know now. Later on, don't say that I'm not getting it. Please, everyone. Understand what is 1D and what is 2D and how to access the 1D data and how to access the 2D data. That is very important to understand. See properly and tell me, please. Can anybody tell me now, if I need only this data, 11, 12, and 16, 17, how can I get that? I need 11, 12, and 16, 17. 11, 12, 16, 17. Can you give me the details? How can I access? For example is in front of you. This is the example which is available in front of you. I'm waiting, please.
Hello, sir.
Yes, yes, please.
It should be x 2 comma 1 semicolon 3.
X colon
X 2 colon 4
2 colon 4. Okay.
comma
Comma
1 colon 3.
1 colon 3. So from 2 to 4, we will get 2 and 3, right? 2 and 3. So we'll get these two
Yes.
rows. We'll get these two rows, right? And from 1 to 3, we will get these two, 11, 12, 13. Yeah, only two columns. So 11, 12, and 16, 17. Yeah, perfect. Let me run it. Yes. I hope you get an idea now perfectly. Okay. So any element can be accessed. Any element can be accessed easily. Any element can be accessed. Anything you can do that method as well using the one we were doing, which here this way. This way also you can do that, but you have to be cautious when it is 1D and when it is 2D. If you understand that very well, perfectly fine, use it. If you don't understand it very well, you may fall into the trap and you may waste your time. So understand that properly and type it. You should actually, what will happen when you will do the programming, 100%, doesn't matter how many years you have invested into programming, you will stuck somewhere. Somebody is unmuted, please mute yourself. Thank you. It is not muted again. Rama, you are unmuted, beta, please mute yourself. Thank you. So what is happening, beta? Even you are 10 years having programming experience, 15 years, it is definitely you are going to do mistakes for sure. But what is good? You should be able to troubleshoot that problem. So you will do mistakes for sure. So you should learn from your experiences. Okay, this is mistake I'm doing right now. Okay, this is the mistake I'm doing right now. Okay, and if you see, if you find in this world who can say that I have studied this much book, I know every concept of this book, fine, perfectly fine. But while you are doing some coding, it is 100% sure you will do some mistakes for sure. 100%, especially those people who know multiple programming languages. Trust me on this. If must be have your experience with yourself. If you know 3 to 4 programming languages, you will mix up the things. It happens at times because in certain programming language, different things happen, and in certain programming language, different things happen. And when you are writing a code, everything comes into your mind sometimes, and you made some mistakes. And correct me if I'm wrong. Please tell me. If you know 3 to 4 languages, then what happens? Normally, suppose take an example. You know Hindi very well. You know Hindi very well, and somebody asks you to speak in English. And sometimes it happens in the flow you you are speaking in English, but sometimes with the flow you start speaking in Hindi. It happens with you or not? Please tell me. It's a natural thing. It's natural. When you know multiple languages, you will definitely going to do some mistakes, but you should be capable of troubleshooting them. That is the main thing. That is the main thing. You should be ready to troubleshoot. How to troubleshoot the problem. If you are not able to troubleshoot the problem, then it is the problem. Okay. Still, you know, there's a people who are working in Amazon and Google. They still look for the code on the Stack Overflow. They have 15 years of experience, 20 years of experience. Still, they go to the Stack Overflow and search for their problems. They're humans. Humans are bound to do the mistake. The person who don't do the mistake, he's a god only. Even God sometimes do the mistake, right? So we never say that anybody. If you meet someone who say I'm expert in this, understand he's biggest fool in that. He's the liar. Nobody is expert in anything. You can say I know very well. I know very well, but I'm not the expert. Nobody is expert. Okay. So without wasting time, let's move ahead. What we were doing till this point, it is clear, everyone. So I hope now you will be able to access any element of this 1D or 2D. Tell me, will you be able to do or not, please?
Yes, sir.
Okay. You will
Yes.
be able to do that. Yes. Saying something? Okay. Now moving ahead, there are several functions. There are several other functions. So suppose example, we have our array, which was what? ARRY. I think it was the same. This is not the name. Then what is the name? ARR. Sorry. This is our array. There's several functions which you can use here. There's several functions that you can use here. Okay. Example, I want to know what is the maximum number? What is the maximum number in the entire array? So what I can do, simple NP, or you can directly use this function as well. Don't use that ARR. It's an array dot max. ARR dot max. There are universal functions also that I will tell you, which has np dot max. Don't worry, you will come to that, in which you can pass on your array. But you can have inbuilt functions as well, which we are using array dot max. So it will tell me what is the maximum value of the element in this array. So I'm running that, and you will see that I'll get a number known as 24. Is it fine, everyone? Similarly, you want to know which is the minimum number, just type min. It will give you the minimum number. What is the minimum number? 0. You want to know what is the index of maximum number, then ARR dot argmax. That's it. It will tell you the index. Index should be 25. Sorry, 24. 0 to start, 24. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, then 24. Right? Similarly, ARR dot argmin. What is the index of minimum element? It will give you 0. Several functions are there which makes your life hell easier. Very easy. You can easily do that. And I have already tell you how to check the shape. Shape function have we discussed? I don't know. Yes, we have discussed the shape. It will tell you the shape as well. Okay. And suppose you want to check the data type of anyone, you can use the function ARR dot dtype now. Suppose I'm going here and type ARR. It is telling me numpy dot array, means it's an n-dimensional array. It's an n-dimensional array. And of which class? NumPy class. It's an ND array. ND array means n-dimensional array of NumPy class. Okay, but it is not telling me. It is not telling me what kind of data is stored in the array. It is not telling me that. It is just telling me it's a ND array of NumPy. ND array of NumPy. So if I want to know that what kind of data it is storing, so I need to know the data type of that. For that, we have a function known as dtype. ARR dot dtype. So it will tell me what data type is stored in the array. Okay, let me run this. It's an attribute. Sorry, so I don't need to put the set. It's an attribute. It's telling me 32-bit integer it is storing. Is it fine, everyone? Please.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, perfectly fine. No issue with that. So suppose again we are going here and we want to, suppose I'm typing ARR again. You will tell me, suppose I need last element of this array. What should I type? I need last element of this array. Last element. Please tell me in bracket, what should I type? I need last element.
-1.
Yes. Two options are there. There are two options. One very much like list. Either you can type 24. It will give you the last element, or you can type -1. Both will work. Okay. Suppose I need any element, you can do that. Suppose I need this 7 number. What should I type? I need this 7 number.
7.
Yes, simple. Index is 7 only because numbers are by default sequence like this. These numbers are sequence like that. Okay, I'll get a 7. Now suppose I need elements between 0 to 9. What should I do? I need elements between 0 to 9. Remember the list? How do it work?
0 to 10.
Yes, 0:10. 0:10. Okay, and there is option argument as well. For example, I type first of all 0 to 10, so I get the number 0 to 9. I can skip them as well, very much like a step. Okay, so I can put here 0 colon. For example, I want to skip by 1, then this. It will give you all the numbers. Fine. Now there is one important thing is there. Suppose I have a list. See, this is how your array is different, especially numpy array. I have a list 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, and I run it. Then I say, let's say my list equal to 100. Let me see that. Let me check. What happened? Did you notice what happened here? Or let me do one thing. Let me do this confusing in this respect. Let me take 0 colon 1, 0 colon 2. That means I need my elements 0 to 1. That is 0 and 2. Sorry, 1 and 2. I need my elements 0 to 1. That is 1 and 2. Okay, and I'm trying that 1 should become at this place 100 should come, as well as at this place 100 should come. So let me run this. What I get, it's not support item assignment. It does not support item assignment. Okay, and your NumPy array has that facility which is known as broadcasting. It has the facility of that broadcasting. Example, how many numbers are there in this array? If we go here, and see ARR, let me run this. Okay, how many numbers are there? 0 to 24, and we just saw that this operation was not supported in list. Not supported. Now let me see. Let me copy the same instruction. Okay, and instead of list, let me use my ARR. Let me use my ARR and run it. Okay, immediately run. Remember, this expression didn't run in the list, but it run in the ARR. Now let me, if I want to check ARR, type it. Can you see that what has happened? The numbers 0 and 1 have been replaced by 100. This is the biggest difference between your NumPy array and your list. It is not possible. This broadcasting is not possible inside your list. We try to run it, we got an error, but same thing is working inside your NumPy array. We're able to do that, easily able to do that. Or sometimes suppose I want to replace every alternate number by 100. It's in one line we can do that, within one line. Within one line. Can anybody tell me the syntax of the same? Anybody tell me, I want to replace every alternate number in the sequence with 100. What should I do? Please.
Array 24 is equals to 100.
Pardon?
Array 24.
No. Understand what we have done. We have sliced our array here. We have taken 0 and 1 only. That's why it has been replaced at the 0 and 1. So we have to select all the elements. And how do we select all the elements? Remember? By colon. If I put a colon, then all the numbers will be replaced by 100 only. All the numbers. Because I put a colon. I select every number from starting the line. But what I said, select alternate numbers. Select
Sir,
alternate.
add a
Sorry?
colon, comma 2.
Colon, comma, not
2.
comma, just 2. Colon, comma 2. Let's see what it returns first of all. Let's see what it returns. Okay, first of all, fine. We are able to get alternate numbers. Now you can put it 100. Now see, run it and check your ARR. You may say, sir, why it is happening? Because it was earlier available. That's the only reason. Otherwise, every alternate number, 100, then 2, then your 4, then your 6, then your 8, then your 10, then your 12, something like that have been replaced by 100. Is it fine, everyone?
Yes, sir.
Is it okay?
Yes, sir.
That is very important. Yeah, that is very important. You should understand this concept. It is very, any doubt in today's class, please tell me. Even a single doubt. If any a single doubt, please tell me. And remember, while you are doing the coding, even after 6 years or 7 years, you are going to do the mistakes. Don't worry about that. Even experts do the mistakes. If you see the blog of Bill Gates as well, or Sundar Pichai as well, they even wrote that. Even today, we do mistakes in our coding. Because simple, who will do the mistakes? Who will explore? Let me try this. Let me try this. Let me try this. So always you put yourself high. I'm doing mistake, doesn't matter. Let me try a different way. Let me try a different way. I have a very good habit. Let me tell you, whenever writing the code, any code you will give me, sir, please perform this task. Trust me, till I'm exhausted. Till I'm exhausted means I'm not, I just give up everything. I try every bit of mine to write my own code. It never refer internet for the same. Never refer internet for the same until it is the case that you have to submit it. Tomorrow is the deadline. I give up every time it was not happening. I will get fail because if I didn't submit tomorrow. Honestly, I'm a human also. If I have to pass as well. If that is the only case, I will search somewhere and write and copy it and submit it. Otherwise, what my principle is, I try my own. I always try my own, writing my own code. Every code you will give me, I will try my own way. I will try my own way. I don't know, it will be wrong. It may be wrong sometimes. It may be right sometimes, but I try my own way. I won't see from anywhere. I don't want to see from anywhere. I will write myself. And that's way I can say that I have remembered the things, but I'm doing that. Okay. So is it okay, everyone? Any doubt, please, in today's class? Even a single doubt, especially understanding the 1D data and 2D data and how to access that.
No, sir, no doubt.
Perfect, everyone. Any doubt, please? Especially those people, they are research scholars as well. It is very important for them, this NumPy section. It is very, very important for you people. Okay, so I'm sharing, just wait a second. Wait a second, I'm sharing with you something. There's some PDFs, okay? So I'm sharing with you. And here the notes are also written, right? If you can see the screen, notes are also written, same thing, which what we have done, the notes are also written. But these things we have not completed yet. So this is NumPy area. We have completed this. So it is, everything is written there. I'm giving it intentionally so that you can read it up. This is a bit of that portion that you should read it up. So everything is written there. I created a PDF of the same, so you can note it. Okay, it is available. First thing is complete. Everything I think in this we have completed. Let me check it. NumPy installation you already know. NumPy arrays from list, built-in method arrange, zeros and ones, linspace we have completed. We have random, random we have done, random we have done. This thing we have done, reshape we have done, max min, argmix max min we have done, shape we have done, and t type we have done. So this thing, everything has been completed in this. Okay, everything we have completed. Today itself I created this, and you can see the time. Today itself, 8:10:21, 5:20. I created it so that I can give you. You can read it as a. It's a PDF, so you can read it anytime you want to read it. Okay. Second, also I created. I thought it will be completed by today itself, but unfortunately we couldn't. This is also I created today itself. NumPy indexing and selection. Same thing. This thing we have done. Branding and selection. Broadcasting. I just told you. Same thing. We are remaining here actually. This thing is not yet completed. Indexing we have done. This portion we have done. 2D array. How to access that? Okay. And it is mentioned also. See the general format for 2D is array row comma column or array this way. Recommended using comma notation. It's easy to understand. It's easy to understand that we did. So examples, this thing we have done, this is remaining. Fancy indexing is remaining. Indexing is, this is remaining. I'll complete tomorrow, don't worry. So tomorrow is off, so Monday we'll be doing that. But meanwhile, please read it, okay? So I'm sharing both the files with you. So we'll be continuing that. So let me open my WhatsApp and here is ML internship and read it like, okay, NumPy array indexing and slicing. Is it fine, everyone? Okay.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. Thanks, everyone. Thanks, everyone. Have a good day.
Thank you. sir.
Thank you, everyone.
So,
Yes, please.
can you share the recording of yesterday's and today's?
Ma'am, actually, everything has been shared on the YouTube. Everything has been
It
shared.
was not uploaded, sir,
When?
yesterday's.
No, I think it should be there. I uploaded myself. Let me check. If it isn't, I will do that. So far as I remember, I did it. But if somehow I forgot, don't worry, I'll do that for sure. Don't worry. In case I forgot,